Hello there and welcome to day 13 of Vlogmas. I'm going to go straight into this one because we are talking about my big Disney travel bucket list. Now I might do a smaller one that's something like my Disney World bucket list, but that's going to be things like I've never been on Rise of the Resistance, I've never been on Mickey's Runaway Railway, and today we're thinking big. So my first item, and I'm sure it's the same for all Disney travel fans, is I want to visit all Disney parks worldwide. So far I've only ever done Paris and Orlando, so that leaves the California parks, California Adventure and the original Disneyland, 2 at Tokyo Sea and Disneyland Tokyo, Shanghai and Hong Kong. So at some point in my life I want to do all those parks. The one we're most likely to do next after Orlando and Paris a few more times is California, and that takes me on to item number 2 on my list, because I would like to do a full Disney themed California road trip. Obviously we would do Disneyland Park in Anaheim, but then I'd also like to visit Griffith Park in Los Angeles, which is where Walt first got the inspiration for Disneyland. There's a story that he was sitting watching his children on the carousel in Griffith's Park and thought, wouldn't it be nice to have somewhere where children and adults could enjoy days like this together? Also in Los Angeles, there is the Carolwood Barn, which is also known as the Walt Disney Railway Museum. As we know, he was a massive railway enthusiast, so I'd like to visit there. And then they also do tours of the Walt Disney Studios. Now, this is why it's kind of planned for about 4 years in the future, is the children have to be over 10 to go on these tours, because it is working studios, people are there creating movies, doing their job. They don't want unruly children running around. So we want to do this particular trip when Bonnie is old enough. You can also tour Walt Disney Imagineering, but I'm not sure in 4 years' time what the setup will be with that, because we do know that a huge portion of that leg of the company is moving to Florida. So we're gonna have to see in the future what's possible in those realms. But last on the list would be to go up to San Francisco and visit the Walt Disney Family Museum. So I'm hoping that all those elements, together with maybe hiring an RV and riding up the coast road, that would make up one big 2-week trip. Just one more thing before we continue. I've decided that I would like to use this opportunity of Vlogmas to raise money for a good cause, and the cause I have chosen is Give Kids the World. This is a fantastic facility in Orlando, Florida, that allows children with terminal and chronic illnesses to enjoy the pleasure of Disney World. They have facilities with full critical care units, medical support, specially tailored rooms for the families and for the children themselves, and I would love to show them just a little bit of support by raising money through Vlogmas. I've put the links in the comment below if you would like to donate. I've set quite a modest goal of £100 by Christmas Eve, but if we can smash that, it will be a big thumbs up to all of you. And here's the rest of the video. Now, if I stick on the east coast of North America, the other thing that is on my bucket list big style is to go on an Alaska cruise. Now, I don't suppose this has to be Disney, but for me it probably would end up being a Disney cruise, because the Disney Wonder is over there for half the year. It sets off from Vancouver and then goes up to Alaska, but from what I've heard, it is the most breathtaking alien landscape, unlike anything else you're ever going to see kind of trip. And sad to say, with climate change and so on, there may be a little bit of a ticking time bomb under that, so I'd really like to see Alaska while it's still in its current state, and I'd love to take my family to see that too. Now, if I keep thinking about cruises, one thing, I don't suppose it's the biggest item on my bucket list, but it's a bit raw at the moment, because as you'll know if you've been keeping up with Vlogmas, we've recently had to cancel our Bahamas cruise, and Castaway Cay Disney Private Island was 100% on my lifetime bucket list. So as we're not going to get there in 2022, I do hope that there is Castaway Cay trips in my future, because that just looks idyllic, and I also know it would be right up Hughes Street as well, so I hope I get to take him there. Talking of right up Hughes Street, you may know that he's got a little bit of a weakness for anything tiki, and we're going to be staying in the Polynesian this time. We both love the tiki room, so we're hoping that at some point in our life we might get out to Hawaii and Aulani. It's not top of the bucket list, but with being a DVC resort, all we really have to worry about is transport costs, which, excuse my hiccups, are massive. So it's quite possible that we might add that onto a future California trip or a future Tokyo trip, although this is, like I say, so far down our bucket list, we haven't really thought about it. We just think at some point in the future. I know of our family members, that's something that Hugh would really like to do. And then the last thing I'm going to put on our Disney travel bucket list, and I suppose this is a small one, but Hugh and I have got a great appetite for doing slightly ridiculous stamina challenges when we travel. We like to pack a lot in, we like to do something a little bit extra. An example of this is when we went to Edinburgh Festival. The first time we went, we did 8 shows in one day, which is a lot if anyone has ever been to the Edinburgh Festival. But then that meant the following year we had to try and do 9 shows in one day, and I think the last time we went we fit 11 shows in one day, but that depends whether you count midnight as the end of the day, because we were still going after midnight. So what we're thinking in terms of Disney is, I know people do the 4-park challenge in Orlando. I would also like to do all the attractions challenges in Disneyland Paris, see if I could do every single attraction in one day. You can do that in basically any park, do the 100% attraction one. But it's fun to do something just a little bit to sort of anchor your day. Wake up in the morning, go, this is our mission, and then be able to have that sense of achievement and celebration at the end, even if it's just a dumb challenge you've set yourself. So I'm still thinking if we might want to do one of those on our next trip, but it's something I'd like to do in the future. And then this one I've saved for the end because it doesn't really involve the rest of the family. I would like to do another Run Disney event, but specifically I would like to be able to get the Castle to Chateau medal, and that means you do 1 half marathon in Paris and 1 half marathon in America. Now, it doesn't matter which half marathon you do. Orlando do 4 throughout the year, I think. California used to do them, but they had ceased doing them about 2 years before the pandemic, and then obviously the pandemic's on, so nobody's very clear if they will start do them again. But it doesn't matter which one you do stateside, you have to do one either side of the Atlantic, and I would love to add that medal to my collection. Oh, little bullet point here, it has to be within the same calendar year. I don't know if I just said that. So I couldn't top it up on the race I've already done in 2018. I'd have to do it again, but that's no hardship. Right, so that's, I mean, none of those things, I don't think I'll achieve all those things in the next 5 years, probably not next 10 years. This is my long-term, lifetime Disney bucket list, but I'd like to know what yours is. What is that thing that you've always wanted to do? Which is the park that you most want to visit? What's your priority? Which will be the next thing you do? Because these are chats that get me so excited. So let me know your thoughts, and I will see you tomorrow.